How would you feel if I told you that every sense of pain or trauma that you've ever felt is actually the ability or gift to dissect the intimate corners of a situation? A silver lining or a balance that we automatically have as human beings, that we can just go through life feeling, whatever that feeling is, and something bad will happen, a trauma will happen, something devastating will happen to us, and it'll break us and it'll destroy us. Breaking something doesn't always mean that it's broken, that it's just not there, it's still there. The thing is, you have the ability to dissect it now. The only way to properly dissect anything in life is to take it apart. That's with everything. That's just with love, that's just with strength, that's with power, it's with leadership, it's with healing, it's with everything. If you do want to understand the strength of something, then you do have to understand the inner workings of it. You have to understand what makes it the way it is. And a lot of times we may start off strong. We may start off, at a 10 or whatever. And then what will end up happening is a situation will happen. It'll just break everything down to like a 2 or a 1, maybe lower than that. And when that happens, we get stuck down there. We stay down there because we don't know how to navigate back up. A lot of times, all of us get stuck in that. Sometimes, some people longer than others, but we feel pain, and it seems as though pain is just mainstream at this point. It's like it's a average. It's like a normal thing that we as humans go through and experience. And we just say, "Oh, I'm going through this pain. Oh, I'm going through that pain. It's fine. We'll talk." And. But the thing is, we don't really have a proper compass on how to manage that pain. We talk about growing pains, and the only way to grow is to destroy something first. The only way. It's same with our body. As we were little kids and we start growing, then we get cramps in parts of our bodies because that part is growing. When we work out, it hurts a little bit because our muscles, whatever, are expanding. There's always going to be a type of pain when there's growth on the other side of it. You have to learn how to break things apart so that way they can come together in a different way. And a lot of people don't look at life that way because they look at every situation, every bad situation that we go through, and they're just like, this was a terrible situation. It's like, no, maybe it was. Yeah, I'm not going to invalidate that. But yeah, at the same time, you have the gift to be able to understand how this thing works. You can understand the inner mechanics of how all of it works because you've lost something precious. You've lost a beautiful light or type of innocence that was within you that you knew you had at one point, and then it was taken away from you, that you feel was taken away from you. You felt shattered. You felt broke. And the feeling of that absence, that absent feeling actually gives you insight to how a lot of basic things and basic behaviors work. People can go through life and they can just say, "Oh, I'm healthy in this situation. I'm healthy in that situation." And they don't face any problems with it. Maybe minor problems here and there, but that's about it. But the thing is, once you completely lose something, your ability to connect, your ability to love, your ability to feel strength, your ability to feel strong, your ability to produce, the absence of that gives you awareness of how important that thing actually is to a human, to a soul, to a living being. And that is actually a gift within itself because a lot of people take basic things for granted and they don't know how amazing and how beautiful these things actually are that they have. Some people can go out and they can just, I'm going to get a job. I don't like this job. I'm just going to quit today and I'll get another job tomorrow. Some people are like, I'm in a relationship. I don't like this person. I'm just going to leave. I'll get another relationship in like 2 days because I feel like it. And they can just do that at the snap of a finger. And some people will say, I don't know how to connect to people. I don't know how to love. I don't know how to open myself up. And so what'll end up happening is, because they don't know how to open up, and because of that, they struggle. These people struggle a lot. But through that pain, you get to understand the importance of what it means to be able to connect to a person. It's not just about the knowledge of understanding that, but also you can also understand the depth of the importance of it, of the importance of the experiences behind these things. Like, people can just connect, they can just connect, but then when you lose your ability to socialize properly, and then you reconnect with, you're learning how to reconnect with people, then you understand the significance of how that actually affects a soul, and you understand why it is important to the human experience. And by understanding the why, it gives you a sense of intimacy with existence itself, if that makes sense. And I'm trying not to sound too repetitive, so I'll probably move on from that. But basically, just don't look at your pain and your trauma as just it's all terrible, because the absence that you have is a gift of understanding, and it's the ability to actually dissect the beautiful things of life. And every time you feel like you've lost something, just understand that it's still there, because you know what you've lost, and you'll be aware of that feeling once you feel it again. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully that gives you hope. Just don't give up. Just don't let your pain consume you or anything like that. And just understand why life is beautiful, and try to embody that. Really feel that pain, and let that pain be a teacher to let you know that, hey, if you're going to be a master at something, you have to understand both sides of it. You have to understand what it means to reap and sow. You have to understand what it means to go through the trial and go and achieve the award. You can achieve a reward, but without any kind of effort to even get that reward, it's as useless as having a pile of bricks and not having a mason to build anything with it. It's basically the same thing. So just understand that the pain is just a stepping stool, a start to something more beautiful in life. And once you feel that pain, once you understand that pain, you understand the circumstances of whatever situation, whatever thing it is that you feel you've lost. And just know that it wasn't for nothing. Just know that life isn't just about suffering, as what this world will basically teach you to accept. That pain is just normal. It's like, it's not that it's not normal, it's that pain happens, but then there's another step that this world just doesn't tell you about. And there is another step, and that's to find empowerment through that. And finding empowerment through that doesn't mean to just block it out. It doesn't mean to say, oh, I'm better because I feel like I've healed from this, because it doesn't affect me as much. And then just harass other people, look down at other people because they're not there yet. Maybe it is your job. Maybe it is our job as being the healed to help guide other people into how we got there, to help remind people as to why it is important to feel their pain, and why life is a beautiful thing, why it is important to enjoy the existence of life again. Life has been so watered down. It's been so depressing, so many mental disorders, so many mental disabilities, so many problems, and the world has been such a dark place lately. And it's like, yeah, it's like okay, we're entering a new level of humanity now. We've been barbaric for so long. We've been going through so many problems, so many wars, so many issues, and the world is a more spiritual place now, to where we can explore the spirituality of what it means to be a human. And the thing is, we haven't really had that point at all in history where spirituality has been such a basic thing. It's always been more of a sacred thing. But now that spirituality is a more basic thing, it's opening up different parts of the brain, of the mind, that haven't really been explored too much. And maybe in the spiritual communities it has, but now that society is experiencing these symptoms. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. But now that we are experiencing these symptoms as a society, that's affecting the collective consciousness and the evolutionary trajectory of where we're going as humans, as a species. A lot of people think that evolution is over, but evolution is still happening, whether evolution is mental, emotional, or physical. And now that we are evolving, there's not a lot of guidebooks as to what's going on with us. We're just told, oh, you have this symptom. That means you have this problem. You have that problem. You need to be put on this medication. You need to stop focusing on this. You need to do that. And it's just like, no, like there's different parts of brain chemistry are being produced now. Like the brain, the chemicals in the brain, the chemicals of our body, they're being produced in different ways now because of how we are adapting into this new society. And because different combinations of chemicals are being released in the brain, that's going to overall give different experiences as to how the brain is going to develop. And when that happens, then that's when human behavior is going to start to change. And that's what a lot of people freak out about, because they're just freaking out about that, because now that human behavior is changing, now that the mindsets are changing, we're being more aware of certain things in life. We don't really know how to really handle it properly. But a lot of old texts and things like that have actually talked about dealing with stuff like that. But I'm not going to get too far into that. But anyway, just keep that in mind about pain. Just pain is just a stepping stool right now, and as society, all the pain and depression that we're feeling right now is just an open possibility of what we can evolve from, or what we can evolve into. It's important not to get stuck at the beginning stages. It's important to always keep going, because the first step is always going to be the hardest. It's always going to be the hardest to overcome. And that's with anything in life. Like, the first part is always going to be the roughest. Just like with, I don't know, just with the Big Bang, there was an explosion. There's always has to be that initial spark is always going to be the hardest. And sometimes that initial spark is actually depression, is pain, is sadness. But it is important that we don't stay there, because if we stay there, then we are going to evolve into depression. We're going to evolve into that pain, and our life circumstances, the future, it's all going to just reflect how we all feel inside. And a lot of people don't believe that, but the thing is, society is a thing. There are no basic rules of society. Now there's laws, but when it comes to society, a lot of people don't understand that subconsciously society is actually a collective consciousness. It's a place that exists in our minds, all of our minds collectively together. Well, I say that because there are other countries that have the same laws. However, the collective societies, the collective people in society, all have a mutual understanding of who they are, what they want to do, what they all want to achieve. And because of that, there are unwritten rules, and they all just know how to get along. They all know how to just make things work, and they don't have to be written down as rules. They don't have to be written down as laws or anything like that. It's just they just have that ability. And a lot of times we say society will say this, society will say that. You know, it's like it's not society. It's just a part of anyway. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind about pain. Just stay on subject. But I do have to go. I am gonna run late. I'm already late for work. Well, anyway, so just keep that in mind about pain. It's always gonna be the hardest, but once you overcome it, you'll be the master at it. You'll understand the good parts about it. You'll understand the bad parts about it. You'll be able to pass it down to people in the future, and you'll be able to help them out, help them understand why they feel the way that they feel. But you'll also be able to give a sense of importance to every situation that you go through. And you won't take it for granted. And by not taking things for granted and understanding why every situation in life is a blessing, it makes life more fulfilling. It makes life more of a better place. And when life is more of a better place for you, it's more of a better place for you inside. And you can spread that positivity to people around you, and they can feel like life is better. They can feel better about being alive. And once they feel better about being alive, then that allows them to become more of a beacon of light for the better parts of themselves. And they're able to pull better parts of themselves outward. And once they do that, then what they're capable of doing, their dreams, their authenticity, their hopes will end up coming out naturally, because the dominant experience that they are feeling in life is goodness. So just keep that in mind. But I do have to go now. And thank you for listening, and do the best with what you got. And we'll see you next time.